issue at the heart of Nigeria's security landscape as we examine the topic expansion of military formations. Now, the question is, will it stem the tide of insecurity in Nigeria? Fatima.
Hmm. Well, we have our guest, of course, that will be doing justice to that. But then we need you to understand that our great nation, Nigeria, has continued to grapple with complex security challenges ranging from insurgency in the northeast, banditry, and other emerging forms of criminality. These security concerns have not only claimed lives and displaced thousands of citizens, but has also impacted agriculture, education, investment, tourism, and the overall national development. In response, the federal government has continued to strengthen the nation's security architecture through the recruitment of more military personnel, acquisition of modern military hardware, improved intelligence gathering, and the establishment of new military formations across various parts of the country. Recently, the nation's numero uno, President Bola Tinubu, approved the expansion of the Nigerian army from 8 to 12 divisions to strengthen internal security and decentralized command. The objective is to bring security closer to vulnerable communities, improve operational response time, and enhance the capacity of the armed forces to tackle evolving threats. While many Nigerians have welcomed this development as a bold step towards restoring peace and stability, some believe that simply increasing the number of military formations may not be enough, arguing that insecurity is driven by multiple factors, including poverty, unemployment, weak intelligence coordination, porous borders, the proliferation of illegal arms, and inadequate community policing. They therefore advocate a comprehensive approach that combines military action with good governance, economic development, justice, and citizen participation. This raises an important question, which we'll be free to bring to the center stage this morning on this Friday edition of Morning Fight. Together with me, Emmanuel is here, and we'll be doing justice to that. This and many more will be coming your way. With the expansion of military formation stem the tides of insecurity in Nigeria? Can expanding military formation truly bring lasting peace to Nigeria, or is there more that needs to be done? Oh,
Yes, what a way to begin the conversation this morning. Thank you, Fatima. And a very big thank you to Kevin Ishofolawe Choko. You may not know her now, but after the program, we'll give a big kudos to our producer this morning for bringing us into this discussion segment. And we have someone as guest on the program this morning. We have someone who knows the audience around peg in a round hole because we just recently President Bola Ahmed Tinubu extended the divisions of the military so that the Nigerian security architecture can be well handled. This morning we have as guest is a retired Navy Commodore, Only Olawumi, a senior fellow of the African Security Forum. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, it's great to have you this morning. Apart from the fact that Only Olaume is retired David Commodore. He's also a very handsome man. It would be very difficult for someone to see that he's a retired army personnel.
he's not tired at
He's
all.
not tired. He's looking so young and looking so handsome this morning. So as we begin, sir, what exactly are military formations? Because most people, like you call us the civilians, may not even understand, and why are they important in the nation's security architecture?
Thank you very much. I'm very glad to be here because I feel at home anytime I come to the station. This topic is very important, and we need to educate our audience as to what is it exactly that is a military formation. It's basically an organized group, of soldiers that are placed under command and given like a specific role and responsibility to cover a particular area. Um, if I want to go further, depending on the size of that military formation,
Mm.
it can be a division, it can be a brigade, it can be a battalion, it can also be a company or a unit, as the case may be. A division basically, as our population must have been hearing that there are divisions. A division is actually made up of three brigades, basically, and with other components, that supporting those division. And a division is commanded by, let's say, a major general, and under that major general, you have three brigades. Then those brigades also are usually commanded by brigadier generals. And under those brigades, you have battalions. Usually those battalions are commanded by lieutenant colonels. Under those battalions, you also have other lower components unit. Like a company, for instance, is commanded by a major. Then within that company, you still have platoons, usually commanded by lieutenants. So that's the breakdown. When you talk about a division, you can imagine what it means when the president actually, went to establish 4 divisions at a time. It's a lot. So I think let me stop there. Because I think the population now know what is a division. What
Yes.
is really means.
All the background knowledge of what division is.
That's the best place to start.
Okay, thank you, sir, for that. Now the federal government has announced the establishment of this formation across the country. Could you enlighten us what informs this decision?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. Basically, everybody knows what is going on in Nigeria as when it comes to national security. Issue of terrorism, Boko Haram, ISWAP, banditry, issue of those people that were imported to the country from other countries, including Afghanistan, and issue of kidnapping, and many other crimes that has made us very uncomfortable. The issue of safety of the citizen is completely compromised. So I think the Commander-in-Chief did well by establishing those division, because when you establish one division, what it means is that you are bringing the military closer to the people. Hitherto, you see that you have 8 divisions, and if you look at the geography of Nigeria, it's not well covered. Look at what is happening in the Middle Belt. It's because we don't have divisions in Nigeria. And if you look at what the president did, he put one in Kwara State, he put one in Benue, in the Middle Belt. So when you look at the map of Nigeria, you see that that Middle Belt has not been strengthened. He went further and put one in Jalingo. As the Boko Haram are cascading down south, they must pass through Taraba State. So he put one there. You can see it's very strategic. Then he actually put one again in Benin, Edo State. So if you look at the 8 divisions that were existing before, with this additional 4, it is so strategic that it's going to cover at least what we are having as insecurity and lack of safety of the citizens. So I think that is why he did that.
Now, one question in the mind of every Nigerian this morning is that they might be wondering if this expansion of formations alone can significantly reduce insecurity in Nigeria, or if there are other measures government can prioritize to address insecurity in our country. Is the expansion really necessary, or equipping them with more facilities, sophisticated gadgets and weapons to combat terrorism? What's your take on the expansion and more equipment on the army formations?
Yeah, thank you. I think your question is in 2 parts. If I understand, you want to know whether the expansion we stem the tide of insecurity.
Yes, or we're equipping them
And
with
the
more.
second aspect is whether the equipment, of course. Let me answer the second one. Must be equipped. Maybe we'll get there to elaborate on what it means to equip, a division. Okay. But I think the first aspect of your question is more important. My answer is no. Yeah, emphatic no. We always make that mistakes. Sometimes we try to politicize things. You want to stem the tide of insecurity, and think if you, expand the division, then insecurity will just go away. It's not going to happen. There are a lot of things. When you look at the indices, when you look at the Human Development Index of Nigeria, it's going to point you to the direction that there are more issues at stake. If you look at the corruption perception index in Nigeria, to give you an idea of why we are having insecurity. So the final and most important one that is really causing insecurity is the democracy index. If you look at what is happening in Osun State now, I mean, they froze the account of the state, they arrested state officials, commissioners, DGs, and so on. So those three things they are the indices that we should look at. And if I want to advise Mr. President, what he has done is excellent because the kinetic aspect is very important. But the kinetic aspect is like the cartoon character, Tom and Jerry. So they kidnap them, you send army after them, they kill them, they bring them back, then they go again. And we've been doing this Tom and Jerry for a very long time. And that's because we've not really have that perception of what it takes to actually secure a nation. And I'll give you an example of some countries that have achieved almost absolute peace. The Nordic regions, for instance, if you go to Norway, Sweden, Netherlands, Denmark, they don't have the kind of army we have.
In terms of number.
Everything, in terms of number, in terms of importance that is attributed to them. You hardly see the army when you go to those countries, but they are extremely secure. So that is to answer your question. That establishment of these divisions will not in any way stop insecurity. But it will help.
At least to reduce.
No, it will help. It has a psychological aspect that it's very important to deter when we talk about deterrence. It has that. But the long term, the long game for Mr. President is to look at those three aspects: the human development, democracy as is practiced now, and the corruption that is going on in the country. So if you can tackle those three, in addition to the establishment of those divisions, I think we have respect.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Regarding what the question you just answered, if it's a no, that expansion of the military formation won't stand the tide, so then what should the federal government do at this period to, what is the most important thing Nigeria needs at this period, if that is not the next thing? But we'll be right back, sir. Hold on to wait answer that. All right, the discuss this morning is expansion of military formation will it stem the tide of insecurity in Nigeria. All right, sir, I'm asking something right now. You answered the question previously that expanding military formation won't stand the tide of insecurity in Nigeria. So I said, if it's a no, then what do Nigerians need to be out of this turbulent period right now to be free of insecurity?
What do Nigerians need, or what the
What
president needs to
do
do?
government need to do
Okay.
such that Nigeria will be free of these insecurity challenges?
Yeah, I think I've answered it previously that what the government needs to do is to strengthen the aspect of human development. I mean, it's huge. If I want to explain what that means, it's huge. But I think our audience are educated enough to understand that you need to provide, infrastructures, schools, that's education, hospitals, social welfare, and allow people to breathe. Because it's because they are not breathing that they are conducting what I would call a kinetic and fusion attributes. If you don't have a job, if you're not educated, you can easily be recruited, by the Janjaweeds, and if you don't have a job, perhaps you may want to go into crime. So those are the underlying factors that the president needs to look into. The other one I've explained previously is the issue of governance and the way we carry out elections in Nigeria. Election is an exercise, but it's supposed to produce the best among us to lead us, because we are surrendering our sovereignty to the politicians. Go to Kemoson, go to Abuja, go and represent us. We trust you. That's what it means. That's what election and democracy means. We trust you because we can all of us cannot go to Asura. And so we select somebody, the best among us, to go there and manage our resources, okay, our security, and social welfare. So we basically anoint them because we want to trust. So what the government should do, if I want to come back to your question, is they should look at the way we practice democracy. They should look at the human development and the kind of corruption that happens in Nigeria. I think people may have to come and learn how to be corrupt, because the recent issue of somebody who single-handedly set up an MDA and got into the system. It's all over, it's viral, it's all over the place. So corruption is one of the issues that he needs to tackle. So if he can tackle those three things, keep on repeating it. The long game is what he should look after. Because if you set up and militarize the system, it's still not doing anything. What he needs to do more is to enhance the police. It's the police that can quell all this civil disturbance, not the army. The army is not designed actually to fight internal
Civil issues.
Yeah, these are internal security issues. I mean, it's designed to fight another country. So, if you put too much emphasis on the military, I think it's another. I'm not criticizing, but I think he should put some attention also on the issue of social aspect, issue of governance, corruption, and so on. So I think that's what he should do. Thank you.
Okay, now for the government to face corruption is a major thing. But do you also think, because some people believe that one of the main causes of insecurity in our nation are social and economic problems, such as poverty, unemployment, poor education, hunger, and inequality, especially when someone had given his or her franchise to believe in a particular person to probably be the local government chairman or be a member of the representatives, and the basic amenities are not coming. Does this also include to all of this before we come to the minds?
Yeah, that question is very tricky, because everybody thinks, okay, poverty is the cause of insecurity, and the lack of opportunity. As I also mentioned, I'm not contradicting myself, they are.
Yes.
But for our audience, they should understand that poverty alone, maybe lack of opportunity cannot lead to insecurity itself. Yes, because Nigerians, they're very peaceful loving people, and they can endure all these, shenanigans that we see in governance. I think what really causes insecurity is, when I am not confident that I will get justice
Mm.
Once I'm not confident that I'm going to get justice, then I start becoming agitated. That's where it starts from. Look at the court system. Look at the judiciary in Nigeria. And I don't want to be too hard this morning. I mean, a lot of Boko Haram people have been arrested. How many of them has been prosecuted? And that's why people are asking that they want to have their own arms. You see how it's leading on? They want to have their own arms because even when they arrest them, they take them to police, then the police release them. And even if they want to sentence them, they get them like 10 years in prison. So more people are now kidnapping. So everybody now wants to have their arms. If you now proliferate the system with arms, that is where security now become heightened. So it's not really poverty itself. It's lack of justice that provokes, insecurity. So the Mr. President has to look at the judiciary instead of building houses for them in Abuja and propping them up for the election. So I think it should seriously look at the judiciary so that people can feel that if I'm wronged and I take it to court, I'm going to get justice. If somebody kidnaps my daughter and is captured, I'm very certain that it's going to get justice. I don't need to recourse to serve her. It is that recourse to serve her that provokes
security consideration. Okay, in case you just tuned in, this is OGBC 90.5 FM, and it's the first edition of Morning Flight. And we'll be looking at expansion of military formations by the federal government. Will it stem the tide of insecurity in Nigeria? And you'll be listening to the voice of Navy Commodore Kunle Ondam, retired, a senior fellow of the Africa Security Forum. You can as well join us on our Facebook page at Ogun Radio. Now we open the studio lines. You have questions or you have one thing to ask our guest this morning. The studio lines are 0803 437 9453 or 0815 032 0226. The numbers again 0803 437 9453 or 0815 032 0226. So these lines are open for you to be part of the program. So you can also drop your comments, your questions on our Facebook page at Ogun Radio. We have our first caller this morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
I'm going to our guest, retired Navy Commodore Kunle Ondam. I got him right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Very correct, sir.
Thank you so much. I'm Silvan calling from Missouri. If your poster has been, can expansion of military formations alone solve the problem or stem this start of insecurity in Nigeria? I would have said no. Like our retired Navy Commodore has just said, I would have said no. That alone cannot stem the tide of insecurity, but it is part of the step that has to be taken. You see, where there are expansive land areas, where police, military, army, etc., or security agencies are far away from them, we need to take security close to those communities. I think our guest this one said that too, that it's an attempt to take security agencies closer to the people. He said, I think in addition to 8 divisions, the president has just created 4 more divisions and put them in strategic areas. I think that is important. But that is the part of the kinetic approach. We need the non-kinetic approach, and that is what I think our guest has emphasized this morning. We need a corruption-free society. We need true democracy. We need good social infrastructure to make the people happy. And he also went to Scandinavian countries, Norway, Sweden, etc., where they don't have a large army. Because the people don't need them. They don't need that. Because the people are satisfied, at least to a large extent. If you can do that in Nigeria, there will be no need for increasing our kinetic energy. Yes, but for now, at the Yoruba Sea, where the Yoruba Sea full, I shall shock away. For now, we need more personnel, more security personnel in the community, in distant communities to effect security. I think it is part of the measures that are necessary. But as our guest has said, we need more than that. That is my take this morning. I am Sibawu calling from Ishara. Have a nice day.
Thank you for your contribution, Sinibawu, all the way from Ishara. 0803 437 9453 or 0815 032 0226. We have an addition to what our caller has said. Okay, just before that, let's take this other call. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Are you joining us? Your name and where you're calling from?
Yes, I'm Chief Massa from Igogila land.
Thank you very much.
Retired uniform personnel.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and I thank my brother that is before you there. Yes, he basically start the issue on the reduction, expansion of the military personnel, and the perspective. It is part of the steps to be taken. The exact letter, he has already analyzed what is the cost of the insecurity. Yes, sometimes ago, most of us, as a use of uniform personnel, we are sent out of the country to pick some certain things that will help our country. Basically, sometimes I was opportune to attend the course outside on crime eradication, which at last, along the line, it is not possible for us to eradicate crime, because the word crime, senior each and every one of us, he has been on crime before we have been born. So now, the issue there is that we have to think on how to reduce crime. The reduction of crime, our governments find it very difficult to take the step, maybe because of the political issues on ground. Because to reduce crime, you must reduce the people behind the crime. And if you look at the situation in the country presently, some criminals have been arrested, taken to court. Some of them, they jail some of them. Some of them, they pass some, sentence on them. And sometimes some of them are being returned to the uniform base to mix with the innocent people in the uniform. This is one of the sections that is making security very difficult for us in this country. Any man that commits an offense, and for us to follow the rule of criminal in our country, we should reduce them. No matter whoever that is behind the crime, we should try and reduce the crime. Please, I want to give chance to other people to talk. Please, I thank you for the step you have been taking. And God will help Nigeria.
Amen. Thank you so much, Chief. It's glad to hear from you again this morning. 0803 437 9453 or 0815 032 0226. Let me come on your quick reaction to the callers this morning. I think many of them corroborated with what you said earlier, and probably you have an addition to what they just said.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's why I have to come to this station. I mean, I school in Igogila, I went to Ibadan High School in Igogila, so somebody just called from Igogila, and I feel so, happy. And the other person from the Shara, he actually said it all. There's nothing more for me to add to the first caller. He actually articulated the problem very well, and he proposed a solution. My brother from Igogila, he raised something that is very sensitive, that, some of these criminals are, put back into the military, and he also said something about going after the minds, behind the criminal gangs. I mean, more than 4 or 5 years ago, I went on Chinese TV and I made a lot of noise about the sponsors of some of these criminal, enterprise. And why Tinubu is not addressing that? That's what is disturbing me. I mean, I know Buhari may not because he's a known protagonist of terrorism. But I mean, Tinubu is our son, it's our father, it's our brother, and he knows that people are behind this. So even if you put 20 divisions and the people behind terrorism are left to move free, I think we are just going to put our men in uniform. We're going to expose them to harm because military is very sophisticated. Most of these men, okay, you establish all these divisions, most of these men have to go through training and a lot of things, promotion, appointment, and so on. Most of the people that are sponsoring terrorism are in government, And issue of promotion, appointment, who goes to where, who gets promoted is affected, So, and that's because they want to ensure that they weaken the same military from inside. So my brother from Ibugila raised a fundamental issue, and I think I agree with you. That we need to look at those people behind insecurity.
Thank you so much, and thank you very much, maybe Commodore. For now, you may retire for sharing your valuable professional insight on the program this morning. Thank you so much. We appreciate you so much, sir. Thank you for coming.
Once again, a very big thank you to our guests this morning for sharing with us your insight on what the experience, and also to everyone that called in to the program to also to contribute on the additional formations of the military in our dear nation, Nigeria. Once a very big thank you to everyone that listened and also to the production crew this morning, Temitope and Abil Bechi and Akim Suleiman, who are the editors in the newsroom. Goodness, I will be with Francis and Rio Show are the man behind the ICT, while Mr. Kudi is the sound manager. Not forgetting Depo and Denika for his assistance in facilitating our distinguished guests on the program this morning. This is a production of Kemi Shofolawe Chuku, and I am Emmanuel Adebanjo, wishing you a beautiful Friday.
Bye for now.